Okay, I started the stream up again. Let's see if, and I changed settings. Let's see if that works. 60 frames per second. It's using about 4.5% on my CPU. My CPU is pretty awesome, so.
Well, that is interesting, because it still shows 480p on you.
Did it... Settings. What about...
There we go. Now all of a sudden it's showing 760 or 720 as well as 1080 at...
I was about to check YouTube settings, because YouTube has some settings too.
But yeah, all of a sudden it showed up now.
Okay.
And it looks like it's the full 1920.
Okay.
I think if anything, the reason why it looks off is it's slightly compressed. You can see the ghosting from like the JPEG compression.
I'm getting ghosting on YouTube.
I think it's probably just a little bit there.
Let's see.
Nothing to really get too concerned about. It doesn't have that crisp 1080.
Audio bitrate. Recording quality. Videos.
Now what's this TK in the bottom right corner of the...
TK. Oh, that stands for that image is on the token layer.
Okay, that's because you're using your scripts.
Yeah. Let's see here.
Now it remembers all those notes open. I see you got like player's loot card. Okay, you opened all that up.
Yeah, watch this. I got this little button down here, and I'll just press it, and it gives me a little cheat sheet. All these are hyperlinked. You should see it in a few seconds, because delay. Yeah, I'll just click on these links, and it'll open up the handout for me. I use this specifically for the dungeon.
I see a drop-down menu that shows all the pages. Seems to be a little bit nicer, I suppose.
Let's see here.
I think I've seen what you're talking about, like Tomb handouts, a green button.
Oh, excuse me. Anything else I need to do for...
I wonder how many people are tuning in to watch us play around with. Looks like nobody's really logged on to watch, have?
No, I have the chat open on the side. I don't see anybody hopping on the live chat. I don't have many friends on YouTube just yet, so I haven't streamed anything in a few years, so
that's true too.
Well, any other advice?
I think that's about it.
Cool. Do I need to change anything else? Doesn't look like it. I'm going through all the settings on OBS. Video bitrate?
That's probably where you're going to see your crisper, crisper images or compressed.
I
wouldn't worry about it. It's clear enough right now the way it is.
I don't know those settings, so I don't know how to make it go away. Zero watching. Okay.
It should show me as watching, doesn't it?
I didn't.
Yeah, one watching now.
Oh. All right. Well,
I did refresh it. I don't know. I might have did something by getting it out of sync.
all right. I guess I'll hear from you maybe this weekend. I hope I hear back from Graeme to see if he'll be able to join this weekend.
Now, someone said they weren't going to make it. Oh, that's won't be
2
this
weeks.
Saturday. It's going to be.
Yeah, next Saturday. Yep. That was Matt.
hopefully-
Yeah, it's a bowling tournament. So if we don't make it next weekend, it'll probably be in like 2 weeks. So
Yeah, like on the 20th.
yeah. All right. So yeah, I guess I'll hear from you over the weekend. Maybe we'll chat.
Yeah. Okay, then. Well, I'll catch you later.
All right, catch you later. All right, so to the people tuning in now, I'm going to talk about Tomb Annihilation, my experiences as DMing it, and the players up until this boss fight. There is some spoilers ahead, so if you're currently in Tomb Annihilation, just skip this. Wait. So when we started, it was like within days after it released. So we started Tomb Annihilation pretty much as soon as it came out. We play every Saturday mornings. That's been our schedule. We started with 4 players. If you can see my screen right now, the original players is Roddrick, which is a human bard. And the other players, the original 4, was Soraya, which was a blue dragonborn druid, Loomis, which was a minotaur, and Siren, which was a human mage. When we started, I gave the players the option to do Unearth Arcana stuff since we were expecting the release of Volo's Guide, which had more races. No, not Volo's. We were expecting Xanathar's Guide. My bad. Xanathar's was coming out shortly, and which was going to have more classes, more races, and so on and so forth. And I told the players if you chose a class from Unearth Arcana and it updated in Xanathar's, that it will update. But if it didn't update and didn't get into Xanathar's, that you can just go ahead and keep your class. We're not going to, the person that played Soraya is the person that is also playing now Mowt, which is a Tortle druid. The person that played Loomis, he was one of the first original players to drop out of the game. I'll talk a little bit about when he dropped out. The other original person is Siren. Now he plays Glastric, which is this player right here. When a character died, they made a new character. So, the players started off at Port Nunzaru and then chose a guide. If you do play Tomb Annihilation, the guide is one of the essential pieces at the beginning of the campaign. They chose Selida, which, spoiler alert, Selida is the pureblood Yuan-ti, and she works for Rasensi. So, how I wanted to play Selida, she started off very stoic, but if you ever thought of a spy that lives in a country for a long time, handles with the people for a long time, that they start becoming them. So that's kind of how I got the idea from her personality. As a Yuan-ti, you're meant to be cold-blooded, so emotions, you don't really have them, but she's around humans all the time. That, you know, eventually she started becoming a little bit human at the beginning of the player's interaction, and so on and so forth. Their first mission was Firefinger. They did fine. No one got thrown off the giant pillar. And after which, Selida gave them a small task, since not too far away from Firefinger, there is a near Firefinger, there is a Dungrung Lung, which is a man. Now I'm gonna have to look it up. Land of Chult. A Grung like capital. Yeah, there's some shrines there. There's a king there. That's what the mission that she wanted to have them go on right after Firefinger. She gave an excuse that she had like unfinished business to go on there, that the Grungs were very, very aggressive in the jungle, so she wanted to find out why. They got there, they chose the diplomacy path, so they ended up talking with the king. At this time, Siren was still around, which was the human mage. Him and the Minotaur did some really cool interactions with the king and befriended them, and the king gave him the crown, which was a circle of blasting. So that was really cool. They did some more exploring. I'll go ahead and take it to the player side. Whoa! Okay. That looks bad. Maybe the other map. Yeah, we'll go to the other map. That looks bad. How I wanted to deal with the death curse. We did do meat grinder mode, so above a 15 is a success on the death saving throw, and a 14 and below is a failure. However, I did give them boosted XP and boosted gold throughout the campaign to kind of help that. And after about several weeks in the jungle with Selida, Selida gave them the task about going along this river here. And they got close to Camp Vengeance, and they were around level 4 around here, and I kind of wanted to give them a little bit of a challenge. So I had Selida betray the party by giving their location up to Rasensi, which is the necromancer that lives in Omu. And they captured the party members. How I wanted to deal with Ross C. I read his little bio, but something I found on Forgotten Realms is Ross C. is actually one of the 112 of Mezro's Bara, which there was only 12 Bara at one point, and Ubtao bestowed Meese, which his name was Meese. Ross is the basically like night word for Nisi, and so he became Ross and C, my bad, after he did the Trial of the Maze, which Ubtao has a Trial of the Maze in Mezro. Mezro is off of this plane, if you don't know, and it said that he was a paladin of Ubtao, and I kind of wanted to keep that. Even though he died once before and was resurrected as a Yuan-ti, I wanted to kind of keep the idea that he was a paladin of Ubtao. So in the module it says that he worships Dendar, which is a Yuan-ti evil god. He's a primordial god, and if you do not know, he is actually sealed within the Mistcliff Mountains. I'm pretty sure it's the Mistcliff Mountains. If it's not that one, it's most definitely the Peaks of Flame. That's where Dendar is sealed. Ubtao is a betrayer god. He betrayed the other primordials when the mortal gods were rising up from Ascension. Like Joaquin was part of that, Palor was part of that during that whole beginning phase. The primordials and the mortals fought. The mortals won. Ubtao was a primordial, but he betrayed them and helped out the mortals. And for that win, the mortals gave Ubtao a piece of land called Cholt and said, hey, this is yours, you do what you want with it. And this is where Cholt came from. Mezro was once a city of great magic. You got wizards flying all over the place. You had great magic coming from Mezro, and that's where a lot of Ubtao followers were at. And then you had the Spell Plague happen, and during the Spell Plague, there's an artifact in Mezro that protected Mezro during the Spellfire and sent it to a demi-plane. That is where Mezro is. It stays there. Nobody can get in or out of Mezro where it's at. According to this module, now what I am doing is I definitely added several supplements and changed up the story just slightly depending on what the players chose and so on and so forth. What I added is, first thing I added was the Temple of Tomachan, the hidden shrine of Tomachan from the Yawning Portal story. And I added that to Omu. And when they were captured by Ross and C said, hey, I got 4 tasks for you to do, and I will release your bonds, basically. He gave them a cursed item, a snake bracelet. He was able to scry on their position at any time, and it was always aware of their location, and Salida was also tasked in watching them. The players still did not know that Salida had the message stone, so she was always able to give them updates about the party. But since she was spending a whole bunch of time with the party, she kind of like really liked them, really liked hanging out with them. So that's kind of how I wanted to play her out. They did that dungeon. It took them a while to clear this hidden shrine in Tomachan. And near the end of it, there is a Oni. In the description, it says that he has a shrine, or he kind of like worshipped basically a vampire. How I wanted to change the story is this tomb was the tomb of Rossensey's brother. This is not in the module. This is how I wanted to play it. And Rossensey wanted an artifact that his brother had in his tomb and bring it back to him. Rossensey is getting sick, so he's looking for artifacts to make him better. So that's what the 4 tasks were, to bring back artifacts to help Rossensey. The first artifact was talking with the Nanny Poo Poo, I believe is what her name is in this module. She is a hag, and in the module it gave her basically the ability to bring back people from the dead, even with the death curse going on, but they are basically kind of like a zombie, a more intelligent zombie, and I really didn't like that, but so I had them have them help the hag make an item for Rossensey and give it to Rossensey to make him better. So that was their first task. They completed that really simple, only after a short session. Went back to Omu and did the tomb. They finally finished that. And then after this, Rossensey gave him a short break. Hey, you can go back to the city, do some stuff, come back within like a month. You know, the players are about like level 5 around this point. So they went back to Port Ninzaru. They met another NPC. I believe her name was... let's see. What was her name? No, that's not her. Zandela. Zandela is who they met in the city, and they also met Velo. Zandela claimed to be the unrequited daughter of Aasimar, which, if nobody doesn't know who Aasimar is, so Ring of Winter. And she was looking for her dad in the jungle. Supposedly he was somewhere in the jungle. So the party members now know that there's an NPC out in the jungle somewhere named Aasimar. So they had a few quests going on. So they decide to clear up a few small quests down this river again. They went to Vorn to try to do a quest for Wakanga. He is a merchant in Port Ninzaru. He had a few quests, and around this point, the party members, I added my first supplement to the game, which was it added temple, no. I added the Heart of the Wild on DM's Guild. I added this, and this is where we had a lot of deaths. Because in the camp that they go into is burning. They look around, and then they open up one of the buildings, and there is a evil druid in the building and a Catoblepus. And a Catoblepus is from Volo's Guide. It looks like a cow / pig long creature with a club-shaped tail. This creature is very deadly, and it's only a CR5, and with a party of 4 at the time, I believe they had 4 people in the party, it killed every single person in the party. I had a boon on Siren Nox, which he was able to summon one time. Siren Nox, he was still around. He was able to summon a Quaddle that he met back in the tomb of Toman-chan from Yawning Portal. They met a Quaddle down there, and Siren is the studied cleric, basically, of a wizard. I forget what it's called. It's on Unearthed Arcana. It's the Thaumaturge. He basically has cleric powers, a little bit of cleric spells, and a wizard. He's a wizard. So he found this creature very interesting, and I gave him a boon. He was able to summon this specific Quaddle, since they freed him inside of a chamber. That's what I gave him. He summoned him, and a ritual was cast, and this is where I added the Death Curse rules. This is also on a DM guild of some extra supplement for Tomb Annihilation, because the way it was handled is if you die, your soul can get sucked up through the Soulmonger, and you're dead. No resurrection whatsoever. But I kind of didn't want that, so this is where I added Death Curse rules. But so everyone in the party had a tick on Death Curse. Roddrick has one, Mowt has one, and Siren ended up dying twice. So he had one. The other player was Quiet of the Storm. She ended up dropping out from the campaign, so she just died. Loomis dropped out during the Tomb of Toman-chan. Soraya died and was eaten alive by zombies from that tomb, so that tomb killed a few players. So after that, they finished that supplement, which was really cool because the party got to experience some different planar activity. There is a small portal to the Shadowfell and a small portal to the Feywild in that supplement, so they got to experience some of that, which was really cool. Let's see here. After that, let's look at my maps. After that, they go back to Port-Ninzaru, and they find during that supplement, I had them meet Aasimar, and Aasimar wouldn't mind hanging out with them for a little bit. They talked a little bit about the Death Curse, and in the module it says when Artis hears about the Death Curse, he wants to try to help them out. Once they get back to Port-Ninzaru, he comes to find out that his companion, his adventuring companion that he has adventured with before, Sanandra, which is the first NPC that they met in the game, is dying. And at this point, I had him discern that she only had like a week to live, to help try expedite them to hurry up and try to finish the game. And he was like, let's finish this once and for all. Let's do this. So they have the ability, once there is a small teleportation circle outside of Port-Ninzaru that Salida has been using to go back and forth from Omu to Port-Ninzaru. And I had them use that portal This is something I added in the game because that's a long way for a single person to go trekking through the jungle for. So they went back to Omu. They met with Ross and C yet again, and they made their case. And Ross and C was like, "Okay, you do what you want. I feel like this debt is a little empty. You done good for me, but not as much as I wanted. So I'll give you a little bit of help. There's 9 cubes that you need to open the door to the big tomb." The Oni back at... the reason why I'm kind of jumping all over the place is I'm following the story with the party, is in the Temple of Tumanchan there was that Oni. And I wanted him to be more of an NPC. He ended up escaping via gaseous form, and I wanted him to come back. And in one of the structures in Omu, I changed to be a temple. In the module it says that there's a Thayan excavation going on, some Thayan wizards and some warriors and stuff looking for the cubes because they want power. This is where I added the Oni to. The Oni is in service of a vampire, and the vampire works for the Thayans, and the vampire, the party didn't end up meeting the vampire, but they met the Oni and the Thayan warriors. They almost killed everything in the temple. They got the rest of the cubes, and then they went inside the tomb. This, if you're a DM and you've done some DMing before, Tomb Annihilation, the main tomb, is very difficult for you to DM. I did a whole bunch of reading before they entered, and I tried to ready myself. There are a ton of NPCs to manage. There is a ton of traps to read ahead so you know how they work. I read it through several times, and I tried to get a good idea of how I wanted to run this tomb. Now, the very beginning, the players can die. Like, from the first time you step up to the plate and you look at this door and you want to put the cubes in, a player can die. Like, no warning, no, hardly any saving throw, just dead. So, I tried to ask, I gave descriptions of what the landscape looked like, and I would sometimes ask the players to make a roll just so I can see how I can word certain things to give them an idea to move forward. So with a few successes, they were able to discern that it was, spoiler alert, a false door. They found the right one, they entered just fine. The first floor is very dangerous. Sararak is a big jerk. Oh, that's all I gotta say is, I had two players die on the first floor, and one almost death. So I'll go back to this page. So Aaron, he was a 6th player, but he ended up dropping out shortly after his death. Shara, which now is played by the character Feyrith, they're both played by the same person. Ashura died. There is a fountain, and she drank from it and disintegrated into dust. Just dead. No warning whatsoever. Aaron, I tried to give the players a small warning that spells work differently in here. Anytime somebody casts a spell, I made it look a little bit different, a little bit ominous. This person was a sorcerer, so he was a full caster. He had Fey blood in him, so first time he cast Misty Step, I told him that it was harder to cast the spell than usual. It felt like there was several layers of him going through. He didn't see it as a warning. The very next thing that he cast was Dimension Door. And spoiler alert, if you cast like any kind of gate spells, any kind of planar stuff, any kind of conjuration to summon stuff, it's very, very different. He ended up going to the bad place in the tomb and failed at that, and he just died. So this place, very dangerous. They continued on the second floor. The second floor was... Let me go to it. Let me remember. Oh yeah, this one. This one they did pick up the vase with the vase with the dowel in it. There is a player in the party right now that has basically 3 wishes. So there's that going for them. What else? There wasn't very much else in the second floor. The third floor, they did fight the beholder in this floor, and a person died during the fight with disintegration ray. They ended up making the DC check, so Acererak casted a permanent greater invisibility on the beholder, which is absolutely phenomenal way to use a wish spell. The Druid in the group, Mowt, along with the Bardic Inspiration from Roddrick, made the most difficult dispel magic check I've seen, a clutch one. So that was very interesting. They ended up finally beating the beholder, but Siren died during that fight, which I was really rooting for Siren throughout this whole campaign. He's died like 3 times and was resurrected, so he had like 3 ticks of death curse, so he was not looking too well. So I was really rooting for him throughout the game. So the original player is only Roddrick. Roddrick was the first one to be tasked with. He's the only one left because it was Soraya, Siren, and Loomis. Those were the original 4. So Roddrick is the only one left from the originals. So we'll see. Now, the 4th floor. Let's see if I remember this one. This one. They did get a lot of lore. This is also a floor that the players can just die from. You got a mirror, you have this maze, and you have this trap here. This trap, I'm glad no one went through it, because somebody was going to end up dead. This special door I handled very, very weird, because how the module works is there is a single NPC that controls a lot of the traps throughout this tomb. And he is on the 2nd floor, and his name is Withers. He is one of my favorite characters I've encountered. He is... So Acererak had a job fair going on, and he told a few people that he was looking for people to build him a dungeon, a big death trap of a dungeon. And there were some people that applied for it. They all died. He really liked Withers enough that he was like, okay, I'm going to make you unlife, so I'm going to turn you into a zombie. And Withers now runs this whole dungeon. He has a scrying eye that he's able to look on players anytime. He controls all the traps. He has a crew to always help him out. So he's one of my favorite ones. I'm glad that the party members didn't find him. Fourth floor. Oh yeah, we already went to the fourth floor. Fifth floor, they just finished not too long ago. This one was a really exciting one. They have a lot of NPCs with them. They picked up more NPCs along the way, along with Siren and Dragonbait. They obviously got the Dao. They haven't had much interactions with the Dao. They picked up almost all of the spirits besides one, the Commodon, which was behind that death trap of a door. This one was fun. How I wanted to run this is I needed a player to be in this room. What they wanted to do is have Artist Simber in the room and then cast message and tell him what to do. I told him no. I really wanted a player to mess with the gears and the knobs and stuff to really figure out the trap. I didn't want just NPCs. You know, it really didn't feel like it was dangerous that way if they did that. So that's how I wanted to do that. They disintegrated Napaka, which is the Juggernaut of a... they picked up a key item in one of the floors that was able to destroy this Juggernaut of a structure. This floor, I also had the Aboleth communicate randomly between the players, and he's had him a little boy voice, and it sounded like he was talking with somebody. And there's a few people that don't like ghosts and stuff, so it was really cool to see the players interact that way and kind of be scared of a little spooky little kid voice whispering in their ear all the time. Now, along with the spell restrictions and everything with this tomb, this place right here, I believe, would be the dungeon heart of this whole dungeon. Serac is siphoning magic from Mechanus, which is right here, and it has chains moving, which I called and said that it spins all the gears, all the traps, and it siphons magic, so on and so forth. I'm glad that the players didn't fall down or go up, because the vortexes, there's no save, no caution. You just touch the purple vortex in your Mechanus, and then no way back. Just gone. Serac is very, very rude. There's some stuff that there are no saves or anything. There was this planetarium. I'm glad that the players didn't mess with the planetarium, because stuff I don't want to talk about very much, but I'm kind of glad about that. And now they are on the 6th floor, which is the final floor. I'll scroll up so I don't reveal too much. They just opened the skeleton door. Now the NPCs that they got with them is a lizard, which speaks to the party, a Cultan warrior female from back when Omu was still around, and she served the queen of Omu, which the last queen of Omu was Napaka. They did interact with Napaka's tomb, which is in this tomb, and spoke to her, which was really cool. This Cultan warrior also has a companion, a Minotaur. He wears Cultan garb, and they too interact. They kind of befriended the Drow Mage, the very person that brought the mirror to this dungeon. If you don't know what mirror that is, just go look on DMG, or not the DMG, yeah, Dungeon Master's Guide, and go through some items and you'll find it. He was the very person that brought the mirror, and Sararak was like, good, now you brought me this item, now get sent into it. So, yeah, and Sararak's very, very crude humor. They got Dragonbait, Artist Ember. These are players. The person in the cage, I decided to be Siren, which when Roddrick and Mowt met Siren again, it was very, very interesting to see a clone of Siren inside of a cage. They ended up finally defeating the Night Hags. I think the fight was kind of anticlimactic. The HP and the abilities that the party have, I think I could have scaled up the HP quite a bit because the party members are full of attunements and have several magic items, a lot of them. I think there's like 3 bag of holdings among the party. Almost everyone has a magic weapon. Somebody has a ring of something. The Paladin has, boots of winged boots. So, 2. There's 2 immovable rods among the party. Now, in this tomb, you're going to find there's several doors and several traps that rely on mechanical moving stone pillars and stuff. I had to calculate how much a stone pillar moved, and then I had to take into account, okay, it's being moved by gear. So there was a few traps that were able to hold via an immovable rod. There's a few of them that if they used it, that it would have had the rod fell down and it was not able to hold some. I had to do calculations for that. So now my thoughts about the module itself. I really liked it. I liked the whole open space of it. At the beginning, it kind of sends you far out. The different NPCs that you can interact with would finally end you up in Omu, and then you. So it's not very railroad, but it's a little bit open. I liked it. Definitely, it was dangerous. Very, very dangerous. The supplements that I added, I felt like it was very... I really liked the supplements that I added to it. I like the Death Curse, a few extra quests and stuff. I changed up Ross and C's a little bit background, and I had Selita kind of like... She had wavering thoughts and wavering emotions. I really liked how I managed that. Now, there's a few supplements that I'll be adding after this. I talked with the players, and the module basically kind of ends after around this fight. And I talked with the players and see if they want to continue on. I do have some extra quests for them to do after this. They sounded like it, yeah, they're all for it. There is a faction of Yuan-ti that I've added called the Blue Ones. I called them the Blue Ones. They're in Hasari, I believe. Yeah, they're right here, which is a faction that wants Dendar to be released. And I had Ross and C's faction kind of be just survive, kind of chill, just, help people, but yet we still need to live kind of, they kind of balance between evil and good. A little bit kind of evil most of the time, but yeah, they kind of balance. But these two factions I had fight one another. And the Asari Yuan-ti have been sending a lot of skirmishes up to Omu. And I had Ross and C be the one that seem kind of defensive. Hey, let's survive. We can just wait this out. And there's kind of a faction split among Ross and C's other Yuan-Ti people. And one of the other faction her name is Kwanza, I believe. The Kwanza did interact with some of the party members, so there's that going along with them. And the other supplement, I don't want to talk too much about it, but it does involve Mezro, and there's another one that adds a place down here near the mountains. I don't want to talk too much about that just yet, but all these products are also on the DMG Dungeon Master's guide on DMG. I'll put a link in the description where that site's located. Let's see here. Anything else I want to talk about? The other two quests that I would have Ross and C do, since the party did 2 out of 4, is one is they would have gone to Peaks of Flame. No, they would have gone to the Cobble Mountains, and they would have met the Red Dragon. There's like only 2 dragons in this whole module. There's a dead one, and then there's a red one that's in the mountains. I would have had them go to the Dwarven Mounds, pick up some adamantium. Yes, that rare metal that the dwarves make. Yes, that one. I would have had them pick up some of that, and probably one other bar that I was going to look up. But they never went on that, so didn't incorporate that. And the other one, I would have had them go to the Valley of Embers right here and encounter a Titanoboa. And what I was going to do is, back when Ross and C was human, he had a pet snake, and this pet snake grew and grew and grew for like 200 years. And when, obviously Ross and C died and came back, the snake was still around, and he befriended the snake, and the snake was in the Valley of Embers, and the snake was guarding a treasure that Ross and C had back when he was kind of around, and the party members would have met him. It would have been... It was going to be cool if the party members did that one. It was going to be also dangerous. The Titan Boa is no joke. They did not go to the Heart of Ubtao, which is an iconic floating rock in the air that when they come around to the middle of Cholt, they would be able to see it in the sky. They didn't go there. They haven't been to a lot of places. They didn't go to Orellanas and talk to a Naga that would be there. I thought that would have been pretty cool. They never took a boat, which the boat encounters would have been pretty cool. The party members did tell me that there seemed to be a lot of stuff that they felt like they missed through this module, so we might go back and kind of quickly go over some of these places, and also adding a few of the modules, since if the party members succeed in this fight, the death curse would no longer affect them, so I felt like it would be a lot easier for them to like hang around. You got a Druid and a Cleric and a Paladin, a Bard. So you got a lot of full casters around, and a lot of people able to, heals and resurrect and revivify, raise dead, so on and so forth. So we will see. Now, a few of the NPCs that I changed that I felt like needed changing, one of them being both Rossan C and a Serac. I think it needed to reflect their kind of power level. Spoiler alert about Serac's stats. I added, since a party, no joke, the party is very strong. So I increased his health and I added some more actions. So I gave him more legendary actions. I gave him some more spells. The module gave him very few between cantrips and third level spells. They gave him like second level spells, Arcane Lock, Knock, and Reduce and Enlarge. And it just felt like those spells. Ugh. So I'm gonna boost up a Serac. Now Rossan C is boosted a bit, and in the module it says that he reduces 1 HP about every day. I kind of didn't follow that very much. Since the party members were helping him out, I kind of changed up the way his HP was going throughout the game. So there was that. Let's see here. I think that's about it. My thoughts about the module, I loved it. I feel like anybody who plays this module, you need to read through it. A DM needs to read through it, play the first few sessions per what it says in the book, and then just kind of open it up and just close the book and just really kind of feel out what the party members are doing and change it and change it to where the party members, like, where it feels like they're doing something instead of just being so railroad and finally ended up in Omu. The whole Omu fight, the other tomb that I've added, the players really like that. They got a lot of treasure from that tomb. Anything else? Mezro is going to come in here later. That's going to be exciting for them to go there. If you don't know, Artisember is over 2 centuries old. And it's because of the Ring of Winter. He has a wife in Mezro. And when Mezro disappears, that's kind of why he's in Cholt. He's kind of looking a way to get back to Mezro. And I'm going to have the party members and him, and after defeating Serac and stuff, finally able a way to get there, which is going to be pretty cool. How I'm going to handle Wish. Because a certain party member has the Dao in his possession, and the Dao gave him 3 wishes. So the module gives restrictions on wish within the tomb, but we will see how. Kind of want. I might talk to the player more to see kind of what he might want in the future about these wish spells, because it's very campaign changing, these wish spells, so we will see. Yeah, but the party members have a ton of NPCs. I'm planning on kind of diminishing some of them on this fight. This fight's going to be very, very epic. I obviously did some changes since it's a 5-member party, and then a ton of NPCs. So I'm going to change some HP around, probably some action economy, changing up multi-attacks if some people have multi-attack, and maybe a little bit more damage. Party members are level 10 right now, approaching level 11. Facing off a lich, a demigod basically, and a giant artifact full of souls, so we're gonna see what's gonna happen. Oh, I need to turn that off. So, yeah, I really like this module, and I hope you guys like this. This is a little DM prep. Oh yeah, I was gonna actually add more spells here for Serac. Let's see, Serac. Okay. Open you up. So, you need to get. You have how many cantrips? Yeah, you have enough. Okay, magic missile identified. Magic missile, you got. Shield, got. You got detect magic? No. I wrote a list of what kind of spells I want a Serac to have. Okay, second level blindness, deafness, detect thoughts. Do you have any of those? I don't want to add a whole lot of spells. Blindness, deafness, there we go. A whole lot of concentration spells. I know some of these are... that's kind of interesting. Duration... That will... Duration, okay, cool. Is blindness, deafness not concentration? Huh, it is not. That is interesting. I'm gonna have... Okay. Counterspell... Lightning Bolt. Now, do I want to give him Lightning Bolt or Fireball? Fireball is very iconic and it can cover a huge area. See, the thing is, when a Serac might come into the... Yeah, I'm gonna give him Lightning Bolt. Yeah, give him Lightning Bolt. I got plans. The module says he is a big named lich. Just give him, he can cast whatever he wants. But the module gave him this, so we're gonna make sure this arcane butt whooping happens. Lightning Bolt spell. I'm going to make sure it's intelligence. Sometimes spell intelligence. Whole person, Misty Step, reduce knock, arcane lock. Okay, are you just intelligence? Fourth level spells. Let's see, like greater invisibility. He does not have greater invisibility. That would be pretty cool, but it's a concentration spell, so we'll see what happens. Greater. There we go. Fifth level. He does not have telekinesis, which I wanted to give to him. Legend lore. I want him to. The reason why legend lore is because he's like coming from somewhere, and this is a very, very good spell to have to learn about stuff, and he likes learning about stuff. It won't come into play in the game, but this is a lich that kind of is caught off guard a little bit, so just his everyday kind of spells hanging around into another plane. A Serac is the second in command apprentice of Vecna. Vecna had a first commander, which his name is Kaz. For those who don't know the story, there was this huge town that Vecna needed demolishing, so both Kaz and Acerak and the Greyhawk setting destroyed the entire town, put heads on pikes, and the Vecna was like, the ritual is complete. Kaz turns around, and with the very sword that Vecna made for Kaz, starts cutting up pieces of Vecna. Vecna laughs, points at him, and says, how about you go somewhere else and you deal with that. Disintegrates him and sends him to Ravenloft, is what the story says, where he sended him. And sent him, and the first commander was a vampire, a very powerful one too. So if you ever want to use Kaz, he's kind of like a vampire, but now he's a revenant in Ravenloft. Vecna has been to Ravenloft. He talked to Strahd, and and Vecna got out of Ravenloft. So Acerak looks up to Vecna. So they kind of have the same kind of plan. So he needs to be able to do almost anything. He can cast tons of spells. So we're gonna make sure that Acerak lives and the party members die, kind of thing. I do want this to be very, very hard. The party members don't have a full caster that can do counterspell anymore, so this is going to be very interesting. So what I'm going to probably be doing is doing a lot of shields, since the party members hit very hard. There's a lot of melee characters, so I do believe shield is going to be my reaction that I'll probably be doing most of the time. So Legend or Telekinesis. Telekinesis is going to be fun. The party members, I can use it and move party members around and drop them into places. So this is going to be pretty fun. Let's see, 6th level. He is fine on 6th level spells. 7th level. He needs more stuff. 7th level spells, I got Force. I really don't like Force Cage. I really, really don't, but it's you go to jail for an hour card, and just no save, just go to jail. Stay there. Party members can't deal with that. So I really don't want to use that. I want to use the 7th level spells for other stuff. And then this is going to be very exciting. There is a combo in here. I'm not going to reveal it, but there is a combo on a spell sheet that I can go really well with. So we'll see if he does that or not. 8th level needs to be a little bit different. I do want to add this. There's a reason for adding this spell in here. Party members have polymorph, so I kind of want that. 9th level, I think his 9th level is fine. Except for one. I do want to add this. There is a really cool thing that you can do with this spell is he can do other stuff with it. So we'll see. Other party members have. All right. That is a Serac sheet. Oh, whoops. I do have something else too. There we go. Okay. I need to go here. Sorry, I'm on a PDF file and looking up something. I want to. I've changed up a few of the monsters to make them feel a little bit different. I do have a few players at DM. They almost know the dungeon, the monsters manual by heart. So I kind of wanted to, throw a wrench in some of their plans a few times. And there is a book on the DMG that I really like. It adds talents and stuff to monsters, adds different abilities, and makes them do a little bit of different stuff. I really, really like it. Anyway, I'm looking for A, B, C, D, E, F, G. There we go. I want to... Alright, let's open up a sheet again. Legendary resistance. I want 4 instead of 3. He has 4 legendary actions. Extra legendary action. Yes, I want that. Anything else I want? So greater. I do want an ability that he can get. Here. So he can be a little bit more mobile. Whoa! I didn't want that. Yep, I guess that. There we go. It's not the Lich. Serac. There we go. Magically teleports. I want that one. Anything else I want? Improvements. No. Yeah, there we go. Now we do. There. Some different stuff that he can do. I added the ability where he can move his sphere around. Because if you don't know, he has a few magic items on him. So for him to do stuff. Oh yeah, I need to. Weapons. He has a staff. This is the kind of staff that he has. Anything I need to know? Okay, nope. Talisman. He just has. Yeah, he can move the sphere a long way. Sphere. Nope, I don't need to know anything about that. Okay. I'm going to give him an arcane tradition. Now, he has been studying to be a necromancer. Yep. I think I will give him necromancer stuff. Pretty darn sure. Oh, I don't need to do that. I put this. Then I need to do classes, wizard, Necromancy. Now, I can put in a few others. I don't see him studying to do Abjuration. He was studying under Vecna. That's who taught him how to do a lot of magic stuff. Sarak has done some pretty gruesome stuff, so let's see. See what I need that open later. Close you, close you. Now, he is immune to necrotic, so I don't need to worry about that. And your hit point maximum cannot be reduced. Okay, so I will put that in his abilities. Oops. Let's see. I'm just gonna put it here. Delete you. He's our hit point. Okay. Actually, I'll do this. Control C. There we go. Then we'll do Grim Harvest. Gain the ability to reap, kill. Yeah, I need to put that in. Because he will most definitely, Control C. Alright. Once per turn, when you kill one or more creatures with a first level or higher, you regain hit points equal to twice. Okay, I do want to add that. Now, Undead Thralls, he will probably not be summoning stuff. Probably not. I'm not gonna do that. Zombies and skeletons are like not even a threat to the party. It's just annoyance. They will probably not even attack zombies and skeletons because the party members have like 21, 22 AC for the frontliners, and they hit so hard. I mean, just Dragon Bait almost nukes any kind of CR2 or below undead creatures just so easily. Command of Dead, I do not need anything about that because he's not going to be summoning stuff. So I think that's it. Just two things, and I need. Oops. There we go. Control C. There we go. Oops. There. I'll do that. Now this is just to give Sarak like a fighting chance, because I can definitely foresee him going down in the first round. I can most definitely tell that they can do, I mean, just a Paladin alone I've seen he's done over 100 damage in one turn. So, and the Bard in the party, he took a few levels in Paladin, so he's able to do some big smites too. So yeah, this is the Dwarf in the group. He's a fighter, so he hits hard and a lot. Like almost these three characters hit almost all the time. Feyrith is a rogue. She only attacks once, but I've seen her hit a little, like 50-50 at a time. So, but she can do a lot of damage. Now, Mowt is a Grave Cleric, and also a few, like 1 or 2 levels in Druid. I think 1 level in Druid, just for a little bit more spells for first level. So now the combo with making things vulnerable for that Grave Cleric on the next attack, they have most definitely used that combo before, and then a whole bunch of smites come out. And with abilities to give advantages to these players, so there's hopefully a crit in there. Yeah, they've done a ton of damage. Just a lot. But we will see what is going to happen this next fight. Now, is there anything else I want to add to the Lich? I do not think so. I don't think there's anything else I want to add. Gave him a little bit more resistance and some more legendary actions for action economy because, again, let me just go back to this page and have you see how many players are in the party. There's a bunch. A bunch. Yeah, just a ton of people in the party. Now, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And they got 8 out of the 9 spirits, which in the module it does say that they will get a buff during the fight. So we will all see that happen. Hopefully we play Saturday. I want all the party members to be here for this big fight, so we're gonna see what is going on. So thank you for tuning in for those who watch. I hopefully my players do not see this before the game. So if you're watching, shame on you. And well, I'll record and stream the fight when we do come on. It will be Saturday mornings. And we'll see you then. Thank you. Later.